The show must go on.
Oh, radio, tell me everything you know.
Yes, the show must go on. Whether or not G's here, we think he's here. It looks like he's here, but he hasn't said a word since he's been on. And it's I Think So Joe with Mark and JT and I think G. And this is Board Wrestling Fan Radio, episode number 126. And George is not here. He had prior commitments with a band that he is in with. G's got no sound. See, that's the problem. G's having issues.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Shabooby. I just felt like saying it.
Maybe his tech issues will keep him off the show. The streak might end. I doubt it. He just hung up. He's going to call back and say, oh, is he there? G, are you there? Nope, still not there. Still can't hear. We had tech issues with JT last week. For anybody that didn't listen to last week's show, JT had issues even seeing us online to get in on the conversation.
Yeah, I made sure we all saw me today.
Yeah, you actually messaged me like 20 minutes before the show or a half hour or something. Well, the title of our document that we have internally this week is, let's see, BWF Radio 126. Let's cheer up Joe by not talking about his shitty week. Escape with wrestling. I think G's trying again. G, are you there? Nope.
Out on my own, out to be free. One with my mind, they just can't see.
Well, I got into a car wreck on Monday, if anybody didn't know.
Hey, we thought we were supposed to talk about
I'm
that.
talking about it, damn it. I'm going to make fun of myself. It's great. I actually, I got some sympathy from Frankie Feathers last night. So,
Well, the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but the ironic thing about it is that the day you got in an accident, I was like a millimeter away from getting in an accident myself in the same morning.
the good thing is, and the reason that I can sit here and just poke fun of myself is nobody got hurt. You know what I mean? Like I got hurt a little bit. I got banged up, but nothing's broken. Nothing's, I didn't get injured severely or anything. And believe me, it could have been much worse with the impact that I actually hit that pole with. But, I'm just, I'm glad nobody got hurt. And, that's why I can sit here and kind of poke fun at myself. And if you guys saw my Raw review this week, I kind of, every little graphic and video had to do with like crashing or something along those lines. But the main thing I wanted to do with that was I didn't want to have anybody like a car crash video of somebody dying. You know what I mean? Because I'm lucky to be here. I honestly am. Like, if I wasn't wearing my seatbelt and my airbag didn't go off, I'd be fucked right now. I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd at least, at the very least, be in the hospital. But I'm here. I'm okay. And Gregory Iron signed an autograph for me last night that says, to Joe, don't crash your car again. Your buddy, Gregory Iron. Which was great. I went out with George last night. We went to an indie show here in Lewiston, New York, or excuse me, Lockport, New York. I get those two confused all the time. Lockport, New York. We went to Empire State Wrestling Brawl Fest, which of course that's one of their bigger shows. They have a bunch of big names on the show, so I got to meet a few guys last night. I met Colt Cabana. And I told, G had told me, hey, dude, when you meet Colt Cabana, ask him how Levelator's working out for him. Even though G did that when he met him in Calgary. So I said, sure. So I met Colt Cabana. I said, hey, my buddy who co-hosts my podcast wants to know how Levelator's working out. Oh, is he the dude that recommended it? Dude, it saved my life. We met Sanjay Dutt, and George convinced him to go listen to Mushroom Head. And we met Gregory Iron, of course, which was awesome. And I'll run down the card. It was a very fun show. It was started with a tag team cage match. Ron Falco and Brett Mednick beat the Rochester Wrecking Crew. They had tables and chairs and shit all through that match. And it was a cage match. They started outside the cage. Will Calrissian beat Colt Cabana. That was a hilarious match. Those guys, Colt Cabana, everybody knows he's hilarious. Will Calrissian is just nuts. And one of the highlights was Colt Cabana pulling his chest hair out. Gregory Iron won a battle royal, the winner of which is going to face the ESW champion at the next event in June. Pepper Parks beat Tony Nese, formerly of TNA. That dude's an athlete, man. I give him credit. That dude can wrestle. ESW tag team title, the Flatliners beat Kevin Bennett and Sanjay Dutt, and Sanjay Dutt turned on Kevin Bennett after the match. They've booked a match for June 21st between Sanjay and Kevin Bennett. The ESW heavyweight title, Chris Cooper beat Trent Beretta and Brandon Thurston in the triple threat. Chris Hero beat Bill Collier. And Carlito beat our dear friend Brian DeVille's client, RJ City. And yes, that was a banana in Brian DeVille's pocket last night. He pulled out a banana. This is the thing: is when the match started, RJ City's like he can't eat that apple when we're wrestling. So he snatches the apple out of Carlito's hand after he takes a big bite of it, throws it across the arena, nearly hits Trent Beretta in the head. And Colt Cabana standing right next to him puts his hood up. And then later in the match, RJ City gets a banana from Brian DeVille and tries to spit it in Carlito's face, but Carlito ducks. DeVille gets hit with it, and Carlito hits the backstabber for the win. Cool show. That's why you got to support your local indies. Now let's see if we can... I wonder what's going on with G. I don't know. He's like offline now. He must be trying to get his stuff fixed up. But yeah, that was my weekend. Greg, I was talking to Greg Iron, and he says, "Man, I've been having a bad month." I'm like, "Yeah, I've read about it on Facebook. That kind of sucks. I crashed my car earlier in the week." I think G's gonna try and get back on. Let's see if G can get back on. This could be interesting. Could you imagine if we had to do the show without George and G? Just the three of us, how quiet that would be.
Mark, you'd have to actually talk.
Yeah, Mark would actually have to talk. Well, Mark,
back here, buddy.
Mark's been. You can hear Mark talk if he doesn't talk on the show. You can hear him talk. He's got a video out there right now of him reading his short story Tulips from the book Tulips and Other Stories, which is available on Amazon.
And this is why I love you guys.
Because we plug your shit for you.
said the site's down again.
Yes it is. I see the email coming up right now.
And she blames you.
She blames me for everything. I'm fixing it right now. G, are you there? G's having some major issues today, apparently, because we still are.
Yeah,
hey, there he is.
I am not here. I am eating.
I just had to reboot my computer. Why does the site always go down?
I don't know, but it's some kind of software glitch, and I'm
It's an
fixing it right
influx
now.
of traffic.
It totally is. It's all the people going to ihwenow.com because it's on the same server. Which we just finished up and launched yesterday, so
Maybe
hopefully...
it's because we all go on at once and it can't handle more than like 5 people on it at the time.
It should be able to. I don't know why. It's like... It should be available shortly. I don't know. I clicked the button. I don't know. It's been down for like 5 minutes. So hopefully it'll come back up. I'll have to tweet out the other links. Gee, welcome to the show. About time you got here.
Yeah, I'm hearing some line noise here. I don't know whose end it is, but...
I don't know. I'm not hearing anything. It's all quiet on this end.
Yeah, me too. It's all quiet.
It's a little too quiet because George isn't here and G just got here.
It's also quiet.
So we got 3 people who watched wrestling this week. And JT, how you doing, JT?
Fuck you. I watch.
You don't watch wrestling anymore.
I watch Raw. I watch Raw, the retro Raw from when the network works on my tablet.
Well, Bad Influence are coming to ROH so we can start watching again.
Yeah, there you go. I got Board Wrestling Fan up, so it's working now. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. It got derailed. Anyway, I could play. Man, I'm blanking out, man. Like I'm awake. I don't know what happened on wrestling this week. Anyway, I don't know.
Some stocks I think dropped.
Well, we'll talk about that a little later.
Actually, I was talking about it last night with one of my friends who actually owns stocks, and he said, how we were all talking last week about, maybe we should all pitch in and buy like a few stocks. He's like, yeah, you want to buy more like, you want to spend more like $1,000 to actually get anything out of it.
Yeah.
You don't really want to spend a little, And then he started talking about all this stock talk mumbo jumbo. It's just like way over my head, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you lost me at about here.
Yeah, I was interested in getting into stocks, and then I realized I'm poor.
Yeah, that's just it. Like it's so hard to do when you
I
have
can
no
buy
money.
literally one stock.
Yeah, I think right about now that I don't even know if I could buy that right about now. And it's cheap.
Well, they're saying it's settled into what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
But anyway, the real big news is that D-Bry's gone.
Yeah. He it was announced Monday that he was going to have neck surgery, and of course we found out. Of course they ran the angle on Monday where he came out and said I need neck surgery, and then they had Kane kind of drag him by his arm to the ramp,
Which was stupid.
Because I'm sure that's good for a guy with a bad neck.
Oh, of course. Of course. It's actually all the medical textbooks list that is the most therapeutic way to treat a neck injury.
If he grabs the arm and jerks it back in the right way, he can snap his neck back into place.
That's right. That's what all the doctors say.
Yep.
At least Dr. Pepper. And Dr. Pepper knows his shit.
What about Dr.
Heine?
And Dr. Kirschenbaum, Paul Heyman's doctor, who I saw last night.
Did he tell you? Did he remind you that the Brock broke the Undertaker streak?
No, he didn't.
Oh, Maven fan says the big news is that Nux was on Impact.
Yay! I guess.
I don't know why they didn't consult Dr. Shelby. That would have been the most obvious go-to there, but they dropped the ball.
He's a head doctor, not a neck doctor.
Head bone's connected to the neck bone. And then that's the way it is. I thought, okay, I didn't mind at all him coming out and just being, honest and saying, I gotta go, I'm hurt. And, break the fourth wall and all that. That's fine. But the Kane part was unnecessary. That made it silly.
Yeah.
That I found that just a waste of time. Like it's just,
well, I mean, if you're gonna do an injury where Kane or an angle where Kane is gonna destroy Daniel Bryan, have that be the reason he's missing, 6 to 8 weeks of action or whatever it's gonna be.
I mean, they could have just said.
Like who is who? Like was that Bryan Danielson that got dragged out at the end?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just silly, flawed logic.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of problems, with the company going forward. They're going to have to address outside of stocks. The roster is very thin.
It is due to injuries and folks leaving and stuff like that.
It's time to bring in Slender Man.
Yeah.
Maven fan wants a Dr. G. We need a Dr. G, and she wants to know, is Kane the same Kane from 1997?
Yes.
I'll get on my my PhD. I have my master's, so I'm part of the way there. I have my Chris Masters.
Well, you know what? Something interesting happened on Monday.
Really?
Alicia Fox actually made me want to watch the next Alicia Fox match.
I know. That's what
Joel
I
made
found
us funny.
I actually found myself thinking I didn't realize she could talk, as in literally.
Well, she came out and she cut a promo, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking terrible. She needs to shut the fuck up, And then she wrestled Paige, and she lost, and she throws this huge tantrum, and she's like throwing shit around and stole JBL's hat and
an energy drink.
Yeah, she sprayed that all over the place. It just, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And I'm at home on Tuesday before work, and I'm watching Main Event, and she had a match with Emma, and she lost. And I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna throw another tantrum, and she did. She went nuts, and she's like she's like slapping around the Tony Chimmel, and she goes up to Byron Saxton and the other guy, and she's like, "Okay, guys, give me your money." Like, what the fuck? She's like demanding their money from them and shit. It's like she went fucking nuts. It's great. It's great to watch because it's like, okay, now she's actually doing something interesting. She still can't fucking wrestle or talk.
Well, she's not on the main show. She runs into that invisible, magical death field of diva inability. When she's on NXT, she remembers how to wrestle. It's a really strange thing.
Yeah,
they got this. They you know what? They're in cahoots. They're part of Hail Hydra. God damn it! They did it again. There were some bits she did apparently on the app that, of course, I didn't see. First and foremost, I don't watch this stuff ever live. Like that. That's dumb.
Well, I mean, even if I was watching live, 95% of the time I'm not watching the second screen shit on the app.
Yeah, I mean, second screen, that's reserved for shows that are good all the time, like The Walking Dead and like AMC shows. And I know JT can attest to that at least, right, bud? Yeah. I mean, they know how to utilize the second screen. But when you have a promo where Alicia Fox goes to Stephanie, throws a fit, and says she's quitting, why doesn't that make the main show?
And the weird thing is, like, people were like, "Oh shit, Alicia Fox quit," and then they're like, "Oh hey, Byron Saxton quit." Oh hey, no wait, there he is. See how fast rumors can spread? Like, what the fuck? If she quit on the app, which I didn't see, and I didn't bother to go look for it, but if she quit on the app, why is she still there?
I don't know.
And yes, I think Alicia Botch did plan Edge's wedding and dance with DJ Gabriel.
Yes, she did. I forgot about DJ Gabriel.
Is he DJ Zima's brother?
No. And of course, at the end of the show, Evolution sent out Evolution and like 3MB and the rest of the jobbers that are always beating up the Shield all got beat up by the Shield all at once.
Wait, you don't talk about the Evolution. Evolution never gets it. You never compare Evolution to jobbers. We are the greatest.
Not especially now that their fourth member vacant has been added.
Yeah,
he might be back.
Most over WWE champion in a long time, vacant.
Well, no, Mark brings up a very solid point. It's a big question mark. Anybody got an update about how long post-surgery Brian's
I heard somewhere 6 weeks.
Well,
Yeah, 6 weeks is the figure I hear going around too.
I think the main thing that I've gotten out of anything is we're gonna find out everything on Monday. So
yeah,
Monday.
That's what they say on the SmackDown episode of Death and Torture. But I haven't had a chance to really look at much of anything online. I basically just hopped on, updated the template, and added the notes for next week. And then I was fucking out of the house and swinging back in. And then finding out my computer drivers do not load.
I remember you also had some computer issues.
Oh, I did. I lost my laptop. I wasn't sure if I'd even get a review, and it's a motherboard thing. Motherboard fried out on Tuesday. I put it to sleep, literally.
Yeah.
In the morning, and I popped back in between jobs and tried turning it on, and the power was on. Fans, drives, all that stuff was working. It's a little bit of I guess, computer tips from G. I basically did all, looked at all the things that I had for about the minute or two that I did have, because I was trying to update a podcast so I had something to listen to at work. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. I guess I'll have to deal with this at 10 when I get home. Got home at 10, same thing. So what I found out is your motherboard can fry, but the power button will still activate your fans and your CD-ROM and all that, because all that stuff, of course, is plugged into your main power supply. But all the other stuff that goes through the motherboard, i.e. your hard drive, your RAM, etc., will not work when your motherboard is down. So it'll appear that it's possibly alive, but it's actually not. And then on Wednesday, I have a pal who does tech work. He fixes computers. Kind of like, what do they call it, like Geek Squad? You guys have Geek Squad down there, I think, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like that type of deal. So I was texting him back and forth at work, describing the problems, and he confirmed what I had already kind of figured out. So I got a new laptop. Yay, spending money I didn't want to. Good times. But I am back, up and running for the most part. I got a little bit more work to do on this fucking thing. You got your fucking SmackDown review. You got your animated GIF. You got some of your notes. Mark added some news. Appreciate that, bud.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I would hope people are always updating news anyway, but I just kind of I realized, I'm like, oh god. Great.
Yeah, I had a lot of useless shit. I trust you to only add the relevant and important things.
Well, but this week there's a lot of important things. Not really in the main programming, but the state of the company and how that is going to impact, pun intended, all other wrestling companies. Potentially. I don't think it's that dire and doom and gloom. I think it's more they're going to be able to set the ship right, but they're going to probably have to do some cost cutting.
You got to understand, it is a big deal. Vince has to go from the Billionaires Club back down to the ghetto of the Millionaires Club.
You ever see it was a recent episode of The Simpsons where, somebody couldn't get, it was like Mr. Burns or something couldn't get into the Billionaires Club.
Yes, that's where I got it.
Yeah. Season finale of The Simpsons is tonight, and I'm afraid I'm not going to catch it as it airs. But
The great thing is that McMahon hasn't been a billionaire for a while. He only became a billionaire again recently.
right.
And now he's just lost it again. It's like he's no longer a billionaire, but he wasn't one for a while anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he would drop back down and went back up again. I figured he was hovering, right around there. But I knew he wasn't a multi-billionaire. I knew he.
He's still worth like $750 million.
Yeah, he's still worth near a billion.
So I mean, if you're worth $750 million, any one of us would be like, "What the fuck are we gonna do with all this money?"
I have worked out with just 1 million, I could live the rest of my life quite comfortably.
Exactly. So what are you gonna do with $750 million? And I'm sure Vince McMahon is like upset that he's no longer a billionaire and that he lost $350 million over the course of 6 days or whatever the hell it was. But really.
To be fair, if I did have $750 million, I would also pay half-naked men to wrestle in baby oil.
That's our mark. I don't have the Cleveland show music up. My computer restarted earlier in the week. I have to get that now.
Oh wait, it's banned baby oil.
Yeah.
Maven Fan would spend it all on bananas.
Oh, I thought she'd hire Nooks.
No, she'd hire Maven. She'd pay him to give him his Tough Enough trophy back.
Bananas. Brian DeVille. Yeah. Anyway. See, the show, like, the topic turns to Brian DeVille, and it just gets quiet. 'Cause we know he comes on this show every now and then.
That doesn't stop us talking bad about George and JT.
That's true. Or each other in general. Yeah, well.
Except for G, because he's always here, so we can't say things behind his back.
It's true.
I heard what you said on fucking last week's episode after I left. that was a horrible G impression, Joe.
I know, you told me on Facebook. Hey, I did my best. I'm not G.
That impression of G was terrible.
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 There's only one JTG around here.
He still works for WWE.
JT, did you catch Family Guy last Sunday?
Yeah,
I
did.
Did you see where Cleveland came back into the clam for the first time, and they played the Cleveland show bit that we do? I'm like, they did it! Ha ha ha! That's great. Which I'm loading right now, so it should play any second now. Damn, so confusing. There it is.
Then they just ripped out the whole thing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
What else
Anyway.
happened? anything else happened on Raw? I'm just loading up your review here.
I-
A lot of car crash stuff. You're okay though. That's the most important thing.
and that's what we were talking about earlier before you managed to get on. Was I can sit here and I can make fun of myself because nobody got hurt. If anybody had gotten hurt, there's no way I would do it. I'd feel too
Oh wait,
bad.
there
Oh,
was
right.
something else important. Yeah, I was going
Rusev-
to mention Rusev thing.
Yeah, Rusev and his racial domination.
He hates
The nation continues.
he hates whites so much he won't touch them. I saw that little twist somewhere.
Yeah, that was amazing. I do like how they did have him almost attack a white man.
Yeah.
Almost.
Somebody posted on Twitter that they think it was they picked Hacksaw instead of Tony Atlas just to keep up appearances. Like, nope, we can't make him too racist. He can't beat up another black guy.
Quick, send out the black guy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, fuck.
The dreaded blue screen.
There was a Brodus Clay sighting. He was in that beatdown from the Shield.
I mean, I was mostly getting in with the joke that Rusev's a racist, but it seems people are really, really buying into it.
It's ridiculous. He came up and he faced R-Truth and Xavier Woods, whose T-shirt you can buy on BookerTees.com, and then he went on to Kofi Kingston. Now he's feuding with Big E. What the hell?
I also found myself thinking that I don't know any white jobbers other than Zack Ryder.
Oh, he could feud with like 3MB. Well, they were all in the main. They were all in the main segment. Let's see. I'll read them off to you. Rybaxel, Brodus
but
Clay,
they're all
Jack
heels.
Swagger. That's true. That's true. They could turn Fandango face.
Then we had him make out with a chick in the ring. He's not a face.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else Bray Wyatt challenge. Damien Sandow had a bit where he says, if you watched the Raw pre-show, you know that I had to sneak this little talking stick out here. So I don't know. I didn't watch the pre-show. I stopped watching those like after the first 2 weeks. And
I also highly recommend everyone watches the European, specifically German broadcast of SmackDown, because every episode there's a random Antonio Cesaro segment where he just speaks German but interviews someone in English. And he had Damien Sandow this week, and it was pretty fun. And I don't get why they do that, but they do.
Maybe they do the same thing for other guys in other markets. Gotta wonder. I heard something about him doing it once. I didn't realize it was a regular ongoing thing.
I don't know how regular it is, but he does do it every so often. Like I said, there was one this week. I don't watch SmackDown enough to know if it's a completely regular thing.
Okay, well, fair enough. Like, do you guys get Slam City segments during SmackDown?
I've not seen one other than the usual adverts.
Or just advertisement? Okay, but you don't actually get full episodes. How about
No.
the States, Joe? Do you guys get those? 'Cause we
Nope.
get those.
not that I've noticed. So unless they were in like the third hour and I just never saw them because I was leaving for work.
There's a third hour of SmackDown.
Oh, I thought you meant Raw. No, SmackDown.
Man,
No.
reviewer ever. Holy
No.
shit!
Yeah, it's there's an extra hour of SmackDown.
Yeah,
It's-
there's an extra hour of Raw promos during the third hour of SmackDown.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we only get 2 in Canada.
It-
Okay.
No, it's 3. It's 2 hours here. No, I thought you were talking about Raw for some reason, and no, I don't get. We don't get Slam City promos here. I think it's because we can actually like go on the website and watch them.
Well, there you go. I mean, there's something to possibly that theory. I'd like to see if the feed that goes to India, maybe they do stuff with Cali every week, and people actually.
Yeah, I found myself realizing this week, where the hell is he?
Who knows? Does anybody
Do you
really
think
care?
he's black enough for Rusev to fight?
He's Indian. He's not black.
They're
we talking
kind
about
of
here?
black.
Who are we talking about here, Kali?
Kali.
Oh,
Yeah.
here he is. Here he is. He's gonna tell you where he's been. Oh, If you can translate that, then you'll find out where he's been.
He's in a condo on the moon, apparently. I think that's right.
His plans needed him.
Mark apparently just napped before the Impact review.
Oh god, Friday was just the worst fucking day.
But did you die? No.
No.
Are we
Oh,
down
right.
again?
Okay. I'm remembering this. I was working on my computer watching this kind of limo challenge to open the show. That was exciting. MVP being a heel now. It's gotta rush everything. Gotta rush everything on TNA.
I
Of
can
course they do.
almost live with the heel turn. I just hate that yet again there's another faction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they're taking Eric Young serious. Like that's the only thing that they're doing right.
That is close to, the only thing they're doing right. Oh god, it is. Why is this show so terrible?
Well, you had the callers coming from in the house theme this week.
Oh god.
And like while Bully is entertaining at what he does, he works with what they give him, and what they give him is just dumb.
It's awful. Well, it's not too bad, but it's like the third time now that he's been jumped from behind randomly in Dixie's house or something.
Alcohol. Alcohol. How do you spell that? Alcohockey?
Alcohockey.
The Canadian variation of beer pong.
That's great.
We Canadians have a gold medal in it in that every year in the Olympics.
Well, it's actually a can of Labatt's Gold, but you know, you guys get Labatt's Gold down there, don't you?
Yeah, think so.
Do? I've never seen it.
I don't know. I haven't had alcohol in 3 years, man. So
That'll do it.
yeah.
And Magnus refused to be a heel, despite the fact he's a heel.
How do you
If he
refuse to be a heel if you're a heel?
He wouldn't hit Willow with a crowbar.
I would.
I would.
They need
I'd
Devin.
put the town on his fucking face with a crowbar.
They need Devin Storm in there. He'll hit him with a crowbar.
Okay, this is what we got. That was interesting. Actually, my secret indulgence that I did kind of enjoy Crazy Steve's first match.
I'm sorry, but I just hated that so much.
I don't know. I found his ring work is pretty unique. But I mean, this is a guy who's had this gimmick on the indies for years, so it's not like he's coming in doing something new. I mean, the whole premise of this whole, I can fix it, no, I can't, and all this shit, that I don't like. But like as a ring worker, Crazy Steve has something different, and I think that's probably why I enjoyed it. I probably won't enjoy it after 3 more matches.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I might enjoy it next week. I was just in a really bad mood, and then they just pull some of the stupidest shit.
oh yeah, it was full of stupid.
Maven fan says Noyce hates wrestling now.
Not
Then he
wrestling,
has to
just
review
Magnus.
weekly. Haha! Welcome to my world.
It's not hard to hate wrestling sometimes. That's why I need to go to these indie shows every couple of
Yeah,
months. to keep
I've
me
also
sane.
decided if I had an indie fed, I would call it BWF, the Board Wrestling Federation.
Nice. Yeah.
And Aries made a random appearance.
Oh yeah, he got beat up, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he got Mike Tyson punched out.
Yeah. Good old
The
team.
security on TNA is terrible. They're either being convinced to leave their post or just being punched in the face.
I don't know. I haven't watched TNA in I don't know how long, and I don't plan on starting.
Oh, and Sam Shaw's back.
Oh yeah, it's full on crazy jacket stuff.
Jeez.
In a white room
And the Nation of Domination is back too.
in TNA.
Yeah, good old TNA. Most depressing talk segment ever.
Yeah, George was trying
And
to
I
tell.
just put at the end, fuck this company. See you
I don't
next week.
I don't even think George would be talking much. He'd probably be looking sad himself. It was a rough week in wrestling.
See, George was trying to tell me about TNA when we were out at the ESW show last night. And he's telling me about what's going on, and I'm like just kind of zoning out because it's like I don't fucking care. You know?
I bet he loved the Crazy Steve match show.
I'm sure he would. I don't know. He didn't mention.
Rebel was
he didn't
highly involved. Well, her legs were. And there's still no word on if Nux and Rebel are brother and sister, but they are apparently together. I don't know if they're far south enough. I shouldn't make those jokes in front of Maven fan.
Well, she says there are no wrestling feds down there.
Anything else interesting happened on Impact worth talking about?
No.
All right then.
Quite frankly, no. I can't. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I'll tell you, I used to see Crazy Steve up in Neo Spirit Pro in Canada, which is also where I used to see Eric Young and Angelina Love. I'm telling you, I saw the next big star just Saturday night here at ESW. Sexy Steve. He's a guy that comes out in like these little, like Brian Pillman's old Cincinnati Bengals tights, kind of. And but he's got his abs and pecs drawn on, and like dollar bills hanging out of his tights. He got beat by Frankie Feathers last month, but he was in this battle royal, and he was one of the first guys thrown out.
Well, Frankie Feathers is good at what he does, which is not touching children.
Yes, exactly. Somehow I'm logged into Board Wrestling Fan as G. I don't know how.
Howdy, G.
Yeah, that's what it says up in the corner. I don't know why. I just now noticed it.
Wait, the website?
Yeah. I don't know how. I don't have G's password or anything. Just somehow I clicked out.
No one could ever predict my password.
It's just somehow.
It's maple syrup.
Of course it is.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, what am I doing? All right.
No, just some reason I'm like looking up and I'm like, wait a minute, howdy G? I'm not G. That's interesting.
It's kind of fucked up, I guess.
Something's going on.
There was another awesome Sonata package.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's been one of the shining lights on that show, which doesn't say a lot, but I mean, at least they're doing something good with that as well. So Eric Young, although fast forward mode, it's still. They're booking their champion like a champion, which is a positive. And, Sonata packages. All right.
See, I go to edit your SmackDown because it's got the green bar instead of the blue one for SmackDown, and then it's like, oh, here, log in. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Speaking of SmackDown,
I thought it was pretty decent this week.
I'll tell you, I watched it. I don't remember shit.
I do, but I still brought up my review to remind me.
Yeah, I watched and I remember like El Torito going over Heath Slater again.
Yeah, unfortunately I do too. I don't know.
And Sandow's mic getting cut off. I remember that much.
Damn it, it has me locked in as JT. God damn it, why can't the website screw up for me like it does Joe?
It's just weird. It says Howdy G at the top.
It just says howdy JT. Damn it.
Well, I'm logging in with mine now, so maybe it'll fix it. I don't fucking know.
Maven fan says, "Oh, by the way, fuck you." Oh wait, first she says, G's password is Albert." And she said, "By the way, Mark, fuck you for saying something bad about the South. The South won the war, don't you know?" See, unfortunately, Maven Fan lives in Florida, which is like actually kind of like New York State, like half of what New York State people living in New York State that moved down there. So it's actually normal, the normal part. Like you got to go to places like Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi to get all the cousins that sleep together.
I wouldn't get out of Alabama.
Yeah, there's also a massive population of retired people from Quebec and Florida. and a healthy amount of people from Ontario. They call them snowbirds. Fucking racist. Anyway,
It's not racist if they're white.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot whip.
Remember,
Okay.
last week we declared Mark. It's okay, but what Mark says is not racist because he is from actually the motherland for all of us. Where if they didn't come over here and run everything, dictate everything, we wouldn't all be here.
I think we
Probably
probably
related to all of you.
I think we'd be speaking Spanish, to be honest with you. They were the Spanish, well, the Iberians, if you want to get all historically correct and shit.
Yeah,
Which was-
Christopher Columbus was a Spaniard.
Yeah, it was Portuguese and the Spanish for a little while were known as Iberia when they were one country. They got along for a couple days, but other than that, yeah, I bet you we'd be all Spanish. Spanish had a good track record with Aboriginal people too.
See, I'm starting to read the SmackDown review now, and I'm starting to remember all this shit that happened on Friday night. Like the Natalya versus Nikki Bella match, I remember because they showed that stupid painting from Total Divas, and
Yeah,
I kind of tweeted that at Saifsart SAIFSART on Twitter is a better artist than than Natalya. Which
Yeah,
the whole appeal of his art is that it's actually pretty bad.
now I actually remember the name of the Bazinga guy show. Oh, Big Bang Theory, right? Okay.
Yes.
And for some reason, I got the tag match before the John Cena segment. I
Huh.
skipped through it because I thought it was the pre-show.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, I got the Cena segment first.
Huh.
It was the very first thing, and blah 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 blah. And
Penis joke, blah, blah, blah.
poopy.
Testicle jokes, actually. Raisins.
Yes. Yes.
He's there being serious for about a minute. I'm like, I'm enjoying this. And then, Bray Wyatt has no balls. Ha, 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 ha.
He has the whole world in his hands, but he has no grapefruits in his pants or something like that.
I think that's probably what really took me out of doing this review
Oh my
period.
God.
Is this opening segment?
It was terrible. It
I
always
was
is with this guy.
Kind of feeling burnt out, and like actually still doing computer shit on the side when I was reviewing this. And then that just brought me down to a new level. It was like, oh, fucking 2 hours. I'm gonna do this, but I'm heavy-handed on the fast forward button this week. I bet I probably would have enjoyed that tag match a lot more, even with the non-title step. But I just really I was out of the show. Cena fucking ruined wrestling. Another week in a row.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on the tag match too, because I kind of was like, okay, I've seen this, and it's not a title match. Who the fuck cares? The Usos are gonna win, and then it kind of picked up towards the end. But of course, the Usos win with the Frog Splash. But of course,
I
how
also
can he?
didn't know there was a third Uso.
Well,
I don't know.
in G's world, there is. El Torito versus Heath Slater, which of course you knew that El Torito was gonna win.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done some Looney Tunes style bullshit where they put a red cape in front of an anvil or something.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, they have done that bit with Hornswoggle in the past, right? Where you like painted the door
hole.
on the wall.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
he painted a hole on the wall and ran through it, and then Chavo Guerrero ran after him and
Oh yeah, I
smacked into
remember
the
that.
wall.
Oh, God.
I remember that, right, JT McMahon? It's compelling television.
I like how he does the he's gonna puke cadence to that. He's gonna puke. Oh,
You want me to fire you?
you know what I meant to do? Because I was watching some old Raws on WWE Network, and what I meant to do was I meant to get an audio clip of Vince McMahon saying "Whoop, there it is," and I just never got around to it.
See, that's why whenever we do the pay-per-view pre-shows, I always have to do that because that's how if anybody gets on it, that's how I intro the shows like he used to intro the everything back then. Welcome everybody to Monday. You know, it's like
Yeah.
he's yelling, but they turned it down enough so it doesn't really sound like he's screaming.
Right.
I kind of miss him introducing shit.
Yeah. it's fun to watch those old shows and just hear the ridiculous shit that he used to say on commentary.
I know. You could tell he's like, well, this guy's a good guy. He's doing everything the right way. He's not saying that, but basically that's what he's saying.
JT, you've been watching these old 93, 94 Raws, right?
Well, when I can.
When you can, right? When you're able to, you watch the old 93 and 94 Monday Night Raws, right? So have you noticed, like I have, that the good guys have always cheated almost just as much as the bad guys?
It's only cheating if you're a bad guy.
Right. Because I used to watch with my grandfather, and my grandfather always used to get upset when the bad guys would cheat. Like, oh, he cheated. He shouldn't have won. He cheated. And now that I'm watching these back after all these years, it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck, man? Lex Luger's got a steel plate in his arm and just nailed that dude in the forehead. That's fucking cheating.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like when Macho Man won his first WWF title, he won it because
Hogan hit DiBiase with the chair. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was Eddie Guerrero's entire gimmick.
It was, but that was later on. That was when it was like cool to be a heel. You know what I mean? And we're talking back in like 1993 and even earlier with WrestleMania 4, 88. You know?
I mean, it still happens today. You saw it with the Shield when they were heels, they got booed for doing a 3-on-1 assault, but now they get cheered for doing it.
Exactly.
And yes, Maven fan, Vince Russo is still alive. He just works backstage at Impact. He's not on Impact.
But he doesn't admit that he works backstage at Impact.
He basically did.
Yeah, well, let's see what else happened. Sheamus versus Titus O'Neil. I actually missed. I saw Batista and Dolph Ziggler.
Well, of course you missed the Sheamus match. Literally was a second or two long.
Yeah. Oh, bro kick and KO. Okay, yeah. I was. You know what I was doing? I was in the kitchen. I think it was. What the fuck was I doing in the kitchen? I was doing something in the kitchen. Maybe the dishes or something. No.
It did remind me, though, that in the good old days of SmackDown versus Raw in general manager mode, you couldn't have a non-US person be the US champion.
Which was ridiculous.
I would always make my creator wrestlers British, so they never won that championship.
There you go. Think so, Joe, with the wrench in the kitchen.
That's what killed Big E's push.
I think I must have been like doing the dish. I must have been doing the dishes or something. But I heard Titus was cutting a promo, and I came out like, who the fuck is talking on TV? Like, oh, it's Titus. And then I went back into the kitchen, and I must have just missed the entire fucking thing, because when I came back, it was the middle of Adam Rose's promo,
which wasn't terrible.
No,
he just wants to have fun
and a cheeseburger.
That's right, and lemon. I just didn't bother writing it because that was effort.
Yeah.
And
I think Byron Saxton has AIDS now.
Yeah. Damien Sandow versus Santino Marella. I remember Sandow's mic getting cut off after the match. Cesaro versus R-Truth, which was over in 3 minutes because that's, that's how long an R-Truth match goes.
Yeah, I forgot that Cesaro is supposed to be a heel. For just the briefest of seconds, I thought we were getting Lesnar versus R-Truth.
And, of course, John Cena ended up facing Eric Rowan in the main event. And the Usos and everybody got involved, and I don't know what the fuck. It was just ridiculous.
Neither do I. Fast-forwarded it. Fuck it.
Yeah, it was, who cares?
Yep. That's right. Nobody wins. Hooray! Or everybody who didn't watch it won. Save your time.
No, I didn't win. I ended up having a migraine. I ended up having a migraine headache Friday night. So yeah, I didn't win, even though I didn't even watch SmackDown. So
my kid was over, and this weekend is my wife's birthday. It's actually tomorrow. So, I had my kid doing, making her a card. So we're, she finally finished the card like maybe 3/4 of the way through SmackDown. So then we're doing like, we're having cake and giving her our cards. Just because it was like the one night we were actually going to have where the three of us could celebrate, because obviously I went out last night. But, so my kid was out there for like a quarter of SmackDown, and she's not a wrestling fan, so we were just kind of like not really paying much attention. But, yeah.
Maven fan says, The person who came up with the Adam Rose gimmick, should get a pay raise. It takes effort to create something so bad. And she also says she hasn't seen SmackDown in over a year. Wait, first she said, okay, this doesn't make sense to me, Pat. So I haven't seen SmackDown in a year for nearly a year. Thanks to Steve.
And G still hasn't gotten it right. He says, listen live starting 2 p.m. Eastern on boardwrestlingfan.com. It's bwfradio.com. That's where we're at now.
I don't care.
I know you don't care. That's
The
why
Great
nobody
Khali
listens.
was in a French movie. I wonder if he spoke French in it.
He was in an Adam Sandler movie, and he kind of spoke English.
Yeah, that movie ruined Khali for me because I knew he could speak English. Well, kind of.
Yeah. That was a good movie. I like that movie.
It was a good movie.
Steve Austin's in there, Kevin Nash.
I have yet to see it, but then again, I've always thought Adam Sandler is way overrated.
Oh my god, dude, you got to just for Kevin Nash on estrogen. You need to see that movie.
The Longest Yard is from his failing period, not his complete shit period that he's stuck in now.
Yeah. Yeah. But George and I were talking about Adam Sandler the other day and how bad his recent movies have been.
Well, it's funny. The one that just came out with Drew Barrymore and all that crap, that was, I saw the preview. Is that me or you?
I don't know.
Okay, it's gone. Okay, I saw that preview in the theaters, and it was right before Anchorman 2. And not a single person we watched it. Not a single person laughed, and I actually said out loud in the theater. I go, "Was that supposed to be funny?" That got more laughs than the whole preview, the whole 2.5 minute trailer for that movie.
Yeah.
And like I say, watching that trailer, I can even tell. I'm not an Adam Sandler fan. I can tell he's just phoning it in now with that movie. It's just like, dude, just give it up.
Yeah. All right. So which one of you two has the break song? Because you were
Watch
kind of...
JT, man.
All right.
G.
So Jay...
It's G's week.
Are we doing this
No.
again?
It's not me, dude. I relinquished it when he demanded because I would complain. So I'm not going to complain. It's all yours, JT.
I didn't demand anything. I relinquished it, and I said nothing. I want nothing. Say nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Well, you had something
me.
planned. I don't, so I'm going with you, dude.
All right.
All right. What do you got for me, JT?
Well, you know what happened 4 years ago this weekend on Friday? We lost a great man, even though G claims he's never heard of him, which is complete bullshit.
I don't know his name. I looked him up. I know who he is now.
Mr. Ronnie James Dio
Oh,
passed
yeah.
away.
Of course.
And brother Maven fan. Sorry, she asked if JT Hogan was still alive, and I just wanted to know if there was. I put a list of songs if we wanted to do it to celebrate, his in honor of him.
I'd be okay with that.
If there was any specific song you wanted to hear, I would say recommend. I would see if we go with a majority, because I had on the list Rainbow in the Dark. Shit. I shouldn't have deleted it all. Long Live Rock and Roll. Well, anything. Is there any specific song you would like to hear?
Not particularly. If anybody else wants to throw out a suggestion, I'm good with
I
whatever.
can't think of any specific songs.
Okay.
But I am all for a Dio tribute.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one. Okay. Here. Okay. Give me a minute. I will find the one I will pick. This is what happens when we argue and don't come to last minute.
Yeah, but last week we were arguing on air, and you guys are arguing off air, so we don't kill time on air to figure out a break song, and that's what we're doing right now anyway. Not that it matters. We're not gonna go. We're probably not even gonna make 2 hours today. So
Let's see. Actually, no. We'll just go with Neon Nights. Neon Nights from the Black Sabbath, the first Black Sabbath record he did.
all right, Black Sabbath.
I think you have that. You can get that up easier than the one I'm trying to find.
Black Sabbath, Neon Nights. And we'll be ready to go with that in a few seconds, hopefully. This is the other thing that happens when you guys don't make a decision is I got to wait for ads. Hall & Oates themed ads, but ads nonetheless. Black Sabbath Neon Nights, or if you want to call them Heaven and Hell. It's the Ronnie James Dio fronted rendition of Black Sabbath. So, there also.
Yeah, the one I wanted to play was one he did with a band called The Rods. He recorded it right before he died, and it was like just the power of his voice. And this is a guy that died of stomach cancer, and just to hear his voice, it was do that right before he died. It was, but unfortunately, I didn't have it loaded up, so I couldn't share it with you guys. And you couldn't put a link to it. It's a hard to find song. It's not like it's anywhere you can download it. So.
Right. Well, I don't. When Mark picks the break song, it's usually one of those kind of deals where I can't find it online anywhere. Like, well, you could buy it if you can find it.
Most of them aren't for sale. It's cool.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I was hoping one time we would ever be brave enough to do a 9-minute one. We could maybe do the Metallica Ronnie Rising melody, which is completely awesome, which is off the This Is Your Life Ronnie James Dio tribute record. But yeah, we're not taking a 10-minute. We're not Howard Stern here. We're not taking a 10-minute break.
Yeah, I mean we could. I don't know. I don't think that we have like another hour worth of material here, but of course
we'll do that when we sell out and get adverts.
Well, you could go to proflowers.com. Fucking goddamn podcast one.
Well, we have to advertise. So if you want to keep the Jericho podcast for free, I have to pay the bills.
The best part about
Jericho's a fucking multi-millionaire with a band.
The best part about Jericho's podcast is his rendition of Mark Henry's theme song.
What?
Oh.
Jericho invented Mark Henry.
He did. No, he's got he does this rendition of Mark Henry's theme song, and it's just great. And I'm not gonna look for it right now because by the time I find it, it's gonna probably take up the entire hour. But he did it in like 2 or 3 podcasts straight. So I don't know if that's like an every week thing, but I've heard him do it a couple of times. And it's just like holy crap, what the hell am I listening to? But it's great. It's awesome. You know who needs a podcast? The Iron Sheik needs a podcast.
We're going right into that. We don't have anything else to do before that.
No, I don't think we do.
That's okay.
It's the hell out of the news.
That's okay. We got a lot of Sheik tweets this week. There was a lot. He tweeted a lot this week, and not a lot of them were really meh. So, are we all here? Is G here? Is he just being quiet?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to leave anybody out. Okay. So I have to start. Okay. The Monday. Marshall Henderson, you watch your fucking dumb jabroni mouth before I beat the fuck out of you and your father. Respect the Michael Sam. The Michael Sam, professional athlete. I don't give a fuck if he the gay or the real. I respect him for he play with the heart. The Johnny Football, tell the Vince Young to Johnny, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of the Cleveland. Hashtag Chris Bosch, go fuck yourself. The Tuesday, Casey Kasem, where the fuck are you?
Looks like a job for Scooby and the Mystery Machine. They found him, by the way.
He was missing? He was actually legit missing?
Yeah, he was missing from like his home in L.A. They found him in like D.C.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Talk about getting lost, eh?
No, he's got like some like form of like dementia or something like that. Like he's very mentally ill right now, and he's like on his, he's not going to be around much longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a genuine concern for his health when he just kind of decided, fuck this, I'm out of here. So,
yeah.
But they found him. He's back with his family, as far as I know. So.
Well, one of them. It was his other family that took him.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like he just walked off on his own. It's his first wife and kid, I think, that took him. And then his second wife and the kids were looking for him. Some shit like that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, continue.
The Ben Affleck as the Batman, same as Dead Dog Horror as Donald Sterling. Go fuck your selfie.
Ha!
Happy birthday to the Stevie Wonder. He can't see me, but still he know I am the legend.
Can I stop you for 1 second? Just, George and I are watching our buddy Brian DeVille at ringside last night during RJ City's match with Carlito. And these kids are like trying to get on his case, and this one kid keeps yelling, "You can't see me! You can't see me!" And Brian DeVille just walks away, walks around the ring. I looked at George and said, he missed the perfect heel opportunity right there. George says, "What do you mean?" I said, "Dude, if I was Brian right there, I would have just been like, yeah, I wish I couldn't hear you."
Well, we all know if Stevie Wonder played games, there'd be Atari.
Yes, that's true. All right, continue.
Happy birthday to Dennis Rodman. I hope you beat the fuck out of the Raisin Dick president of the jabroni South Korea. Wednesday. The Solange never have any problem if the Beyonce married the Rob Thomas. I can beat the living fuck out of all of the 2.5 men. Thursday. Hello, Nile Rodgers. You make sure you get lucky enough I don't break your fucking neck. I clean my toilet with Donald Sterling hair. Every girl knows that one dude that deserved camel clutch. Andrew Wiggins, you jump like the real, but what happened if I break your fucking neck, suplex you? The Hall of Fame? Not you. Oh, I the Hall of Fame, not you. Sorry. Aaron Hernandez, you fucking dumb fucking Mexican cocksucker, no good piece of shit. You watch, you fucking back. I fuck your ass, make you uncle.
I think he doesn't like that guy.
Fuck the spring Uggs. Godzilla, you are a dumb, no good piece of shit. Raisin balls, go fuck yourself. Friday. El Torito, better wrestler than the Virgil. Remember the Titans better movie more than that fucking Jabroni Beaches. What game better, Halo 5 or eat shit you mushroom balls though like fucking Jabroni 3? I wonder if you guys actually want to hear what he has to say, if you want to hear me botching up for trying to read this stuff.
Oh yeah, we love
I
it.
think you guys get more entertainment out of me fucking up the pronunciation.
It's
of
good,
the
man.
English
It's good.
language.
No, I enjoy it more for the context of the tweets, and
Okay, Saturday, you dumb son of a bitch, hashtag things parents say. Blades of Glory, better fucking movie than the Terms of Endearment. And, wait a minute, I think there was one I saw earlier. Let me see. I just saw one he partied. Oh yeah, Kim and Kanye, same as Dead Dog and Cashew Dick. And finally, as always, good night, go fuck yourself.
My mom was like mad at me once, and she called me a son of a bitch, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Not many people realize what that actually means.
I love my mom, but that was just like, wait a minute, is that supposed to be an insult to me?
Oh, whoops, I forgot. Maven fan renamed the Sheik tweets John Cena tweets. Oops.
Yes, congratulations to Jamin Olivencia for his OVW title win. Anyway. Shoutouts, of course, cheapheat.com and angrymarks.com, our great sources for wrestling news. And, of course, Alice at RWR, which is at rwrpodcast.com. She also runs stuff over for MLW on the Jim Cornette podcast. I'm going to give a shout-out to David Fuller and the IHWE Radio podcast, which is on this Wednesday night, coming up with Jim Cornette. And, of course, check out Booker Tees, at Booker Tees on Twitter, Booker Tees. They're doing a solid with some of their ideas. I wonder if they've got the shirt I want yet. I have to check that out. WWE has not called back any of the wrestlers who were at their March tryouts, including top indie stars like ACH and Kevin Steen. So,
And then, of course, the interesting thing with that is Kevin Steen's contract's up.
yes, we've heard that. WWE is warning prospective talent to watch what they say on social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., to not endanger their chances of getting or keeping a WWE contract.
Oh, Albert kept his.
Open your eyes, dummy. Sakamoto's back in NXT, from what I hear.
Yeah, we got one of those for my day job. They're like, oh, I watched what you say. Make sure you post online as factual.
Yeah.
Tensai, I actually forgot his name.
His actual name or his like gimmick name that he's got now?
What's it now?
Like Jason Alberts or something.
That's it.
But his real name, Matt Bloom. Giant Bernard over in Japan. Prince Albert about 15 years ago. A-Train about 10 years ago. Prince Devitt is apparently signed with WWE and will be coming to the Performance Center no later than August. So we'll find out in a few months if that's true. Kenta is scheduled to make his debut at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando this summer. His final Japan show at Korakuen Hall sold out 10 days in advance. TNA was happy with how the Knockouts pay-per-view taping went last weekend, and in particular, officials praised Jessica Havoc and Veda Scott.
Two women who are not part of the roster.
Exactly. I wonder what Gregory Iron thinks about that.
And I don't know how they use Veda Scott, but if they put her in a talking mode, she is. If they put her on a commentator mode, she is horrible.
She was probably beating up Greg Iron, or getting beat up by Greg Iron.
They couldn't take Taz off commentary. He's got to make sexist jokes.
Well, some of TNA's production crew threatened to walk out during last week's tapings because the company was behind on their pay, which was resolved by the company issuing immediate checks to those who threatened to leave. So wait, they didn't have the money to pay them, but they paid them.
They tried to get away with not paying them.
Right, they're trying to be like, we don't have the money, but obviously they had the money because they paid them right then and there. Like, oh, shit, you're leaving? Oh, here's your money. That happened to my wife last weekend. It's like she usually gets paid every other Friday, and she didn't get paid. She didn't get paid till Monday. I was actually this is the funny thing is when I got in the accident, I was on my way home to pick up my wife and go to the fucking mechanic. Since we actually,
Well, you really need one now.
yeah, I guess so. 5-time TNA Tag Team Champion Sean Hernandez's contract has expired, and he's no longer with the company, so no more Supermax, I guess. In other news, Chris Sabin actually turned down a new deal from TNA as opposed to TNA not opting to renew his contract. And of course, Kaz also has no new contract and is done with the company. The number of fully contracted talent in TNA has shrunk from 60 to 33.
Yep, 33. Popular number on the show this week.
Yes. TNA is letting the United Talent Agency shop around Impact Wrestling to the highest bidder for them, which is noteworthy given that Spike TV and Viacom have not, as of yet, renewed their TV contract that expires this year.
And I'm pretty glad they have someone to do this for them, seeing as they're completely incapable of doing it themselves.
Yep. Robert Roode on being suspended by MVP. I think this is an abuse of power, and I think this is bullshit. 2 weeks ago, Eric Young and I tore the house down. We made a deal to do it again last Thursday night, and MVP inserted himself into this, had me thrown out of the arena, and now today I found out I've been suspended. Not only that, but he names himself the number one contender and schedules a title match. Let me tell you something. If there's anyone who deserves a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary, it's me. Eric Young and I have a lot of history, and I gave him one hell of a match, even after I went to war with Gunner earlier in the night. MVP hasn't earned a damn thing, and he sure as hell lost the respect of all of us in the back.
Bobby Roode's face turn.
Thinking of Bobby Roode and Eric Young just made me think of something. Gee, did you catch NXT this week?
Yeah.
Did you catch Tyler Breeze's promo?
I did, but I really don't remember what he
Tyler Breeze cuts a promo and he's like ripping on Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd for being Canadian. Anybody care to guess where Tyler Breeze is actually from?
Main event.
He's ripping on them like, oh, you're Canadian anyway. Canadians are whatever he said about them. It's like, wait, dude, you're Canadian. What the fuck?
I guess we're supposed to forget that. I don't know.
He makes his seasonal residence.
He also is trained by Lance Storm, so
yeah,
it's rather odd.
Yeah. Well, given that Kurt Angle's TNA contract expires before he'll be fully recovered from ACL surgery and that he's not being advertised for next year's UK tour, he may be effectively done with the company.
Well. We're watching a company die.
Basically.
We're watching two companies die.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that.
Well, one die and one be crippled. Like Kurt Angle.
Well, here's an update on the folks walking out, almost walking out, the production members. TNA production members threatening to walk out last week due to some not having been paid since March was due to Janice Carter, Dixie's mom, setting aside a portion of money each month to finance the times the company loses money. TNA taped so many events and pay-per-views in a short period of time so far in advance, they just didn't have the money, but it's thought that this incident was isolated and not indicative of any problems in the company.
Wonder how often she dips into that particular fund.
Yeah. Let's see. AMC TV has announced that they'll produce an 8-episode series about Billy Corgan's Resistance Pro Wrestling with from a behind-the-scenes perspective focused on Corgan.
That's interesting. I'll check that out.
Yeah, it'd be on AMC. I might check that out. Might be worth...
i.e. the recording of the next Smashing Pumpkins record.
Basically. Global Force Wrestling and Scott Demore are scouting talent for on June 1st in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. And
Demore.
Yeah.
It's Demore, dude.
I thought you pronounced it. I was like, isn't it the more?
I don't know. I haven't heard his name mentioned in so damn long that I just forgot. You can get more information on that at globalforcewrestling.com/seminar. A lot of TNA talents have been quietly contacting Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling about working for them, thinking the company's prospects are dire.
Doom and gloom.
Yes.
I wonder if they'll let Manic keep the suit.
Yeah, that might be interesting. We'll find out. It's believed that WWE has already signed a new deal. Well, we know this for sure now, with NBC Universal for programming. It's just being kept quiet till USA Network's upfront presentation this week. Stock was up just over 5% Tuesday to $19.35 a share on rumors of a new deal with NBC Universal to be announced at the upfronts. On Thursday, the Universal deal was almost done. They were still negotiating over rights, digital rights, how long the network has to wait to put up replays of first-run TV shows and stuff like that there. It's expected the new deal will be almost double the rights fees WWE received for Raw on USA and SmackDown on Sci-Fi to almost $320 million in total. WWE stock was down $4 a share in after-hours trading, given that the new TV deal was for $200 million, significantly less than the previous projected $320 million. On Friday, Vince McMahon, no longer a billionaire after losing $340 million in a day. He lost $340 million Friday as shares in WWE took a beating from investors, dropping by 42% by 3 p.m. That knocked the WWE boss out of the billionaire ranks, putting his net worth at an estimated $760 million. The stock fell after news that WWE had signed a new television deal with NBC Universal for less than some investors had hoped. Benchmark analyst Mike Hickey estimated WWE got a 50% raise over its last TV agreement, but he expected the new deal to pay WWE double or triple its previous one. And G says,
It got worse. I told you guys this stock talk shit and TV rights stuff was important.
and
Whoa. What Wall Street? What did Wall Street say?
LOL network.
You tax cheats. Oh, wait, that was IRS.
Yeah. All right. On Friday, WWE shares crater as television deal disappoints World Wrestling Entertainment, Inc. Shares tumbled more than 40% in pre-market trade Friday on concerns about the company's new long-term television agreement with Comcast's NBC Universal. They are at a third of their value prior to the network/WrestleMania networks of over $30.
Ouch.
Less than a week after we joked about buying a share in WWE and demanding change, someone has actually done it. Lemelson Capital LLC, a private investment firm, announced Friday that they had taken a stake in shares of World Wrestling Entertainment and called on the board of directors to replace the executive management team of the company following a period of consistent losses, execution issues, and material misstatements, which there's a full statement at, I guess, at WrestlingInc.com we're going to throw out there.
No, it's impossibly long.
Yeah, I've read it. I understand, but as a note, Vince McMahon owns 82% of the company.
Yeah, so they can demand all they want, but obviously the power is still the powers that be.
Maven fan George is at a photo shoot right now.
I was just gonna say George is getting his picture taken.
He's getting his picture taken with your buddy Lee Muller.
He's posing for a nudie calendar.
With your buddy Lee Muller. I'm in the car with George last night, and we're driving back from the we're leaving the Empire State Wrestling show, and George is like looking at he pulls out his phone, he gets the text from Brian, and Brian goes, "Oh, well, I'm bringing 3 leather jackets and 6 pairs of jeans and 17 t-shirts or some shit." Like, it was just an outrageous number of outfits. It's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm looking at George, and George's wearing a mushroom head t-shirt and some camo shorts. I'm like, dude, let me guess, that's what you're wearing to the photo shoot. He goes, yeah, probably. So, it'll be interesting. Mr. McMahon made a statement about the stock drop. He says, there should be no confusion on Wall Street, as it is extraordinary to have reached more than 660,000 WWE Network subscribers only 42 days after launch, putting us on track to reach 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. We feel good about nearly doubling the value of our 4 largest TV deals around the world.
Let's be honest here. Are they sure they're going to reach the million mark? The fact of the matter is what if people like me, who after our first 6-month trial of the network, we don't re-up? Because right now I'm right now. If my contract was up today, I wouldn't re-up because I can't use the network. I don't see the point of me spending $10 a month for something I can't use.
My experience with my tablet is you basically just have to keep trying.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I get sick of it afterwards. It takes like 10 minutes to load.
No. I completely understand that. I completely get that. And so, I mean, like, that's frustrating, and it sucks it's even worse on the Xbox 360 because it will load, but then it's like got so much freaking lag. It's terrible. So the best place to watch the WWE Network is actually on your computer. Yeah. and that sucks, but I actually watched NXT on the bus on my way to work on my phone this week.
The two places I can get the WWE Network best is on my computer and on my phone. And that's it. I cannot access it anywhere else. Now, if the only other thing that might save me is if they finally come out with it for smart TVs. And other than that, I'm not renewing up. And I made sure when I selected it, when I signed up, that I clicked on I clicked off the automatic renewal.
Yeah.
I think they're counting on a lot of people to have not done that.
Yeah. I don't know if I did or not, but I mean,
the only reason I still have a gym membership is because I'm too lazy to cancel it.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I don't, as long as they keep showing the pay-per-views, I don't see myself saying, no, I don't want this anymore. Because I was paying $60 a month for freaking pay-per-view. Now I'm just paying $10 a month to watch it, without worrying about, okay, where am I going to come up with this money? Am I in good enough standing with DirecTV to actually pay them? Well, first of all, I couldn't even get it on DirecTV, so I'd be screwed there. And second of all, do I have enough money in my account to pay it? Just buy it straight from WWE, which I don't think I can do anymore either because of the network. So, I mean, I'm pretty much stuck with the network if I want to watch pay-per-views or special events.
Maven Tan says, George and Brian naked, yum.
Yeah, I see that.
And she says there should be more WCCW stuff on the network.
There's a little bit of WCCW. There's not much, though. WWE is holding a Business Outlook conference call on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern via corporate.wwe.com with Mr. McMahon and CFO George Barrios hosting. The obvious talking point will be the beating the stock took Friday, closing at $11.27, down nearly 44%.
Is this the call they've been holding off having for months now, or is that a different
No.
call?
This is different.
Yeah.
This is different. What they've been holding off for months is the talking to the talent about what their pay is going to be for these events. Now that it's on the network and people are paying $10 a month as opposed to $60 a month. WWE are discussing raising the price of the network by a shockingly huge $1 a month.
Damn it, that's just enough to make me go broke.
Yeah. Joe's wallet could not be reached for comment. It was too busy. Yeah. Okay. It was too busy killing itself. Anyway.
Shaboobie.
Former WWE Vice President of Global Digital Sales, Brian Maddox, no relation to Brad Maddox, left the company to take a position as Vice President of Advertising Sales for Silver Chalice Ventures.
Brad Maddox.
Get out while the getting out's good. So this is where we're going to take a pause and discuss two things.
Sure.
What do you? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I believe it is. If you're Vince McMahon at this juncture right now, you still have millions of dollars. Obviously, you own 82% of the stocks. Would it not be wise to buy out the shareholders, go private for a little while, and right the ship? What do you guys think of that?
I think it would. I'm surprised he didn't do that again, given how a lot of the sacrifices he's had to make is because they are publicly traded.
That's true.
I mean, that was one of the main reasons the attitude era ended, if I remember right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is part of the PG, the PG thing, plus the deal with Mattel.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know shit about stocks in publicly traded companies as opposed to privately traded companies. I really don't know a damn thing about it. So,
But as we've learned this week now, most of his money is tied up in those stocks. I think if he bought them all and went private again, he'd probably lose a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would be a big sacrifice, and it would take him to have a lot of confidence in his own company to go that route. It's a possibility that's been floated out there when you have these investigations going on, because this ties into the other thing that I don't want to get too conspiracy theory here, but for months and months we've been talking about a certain young lady selling off her stocks in small little chunks.
yeah.
I don't think $1 million at a time is a small chunk.
It could purely be coincidence, but it's not like they didn't know they were launching this network back then. They did. That was been the plan for 2 years plus.
Right.
And it's a lot easier to kind of be subtle when you're selling off small pieces as opposed to like all of a sudden selling like the overall total. I don't remember what it was. We had it in the news about a month ago where we had who owns what in the percentiles. You notice Triple H owned very, very little comparatively.
Right.
And Stephanie gotten rid of something like a third plus of her shares or more when the stocks were nice and high. It just smells funny. That's what I'm wondering if the internal thinking was.
So you're thinking there's some like Martha Stewart shit going on with Stephanie McMahon?
Maybe. I mean, who would have been, most likely to be privy to the possibility of this happening? They have financial advisors in place. They would have had some idea of the risk they were taking, and better to have some solid, hard-earned, hard-inherited money in the bank in case things did go afoul and they had to take a financial gamble, perhaps by going private again.
Now, are you suggesting Vince told Steph to sell her shares or that she acted of her own accord?
Well, yeah. I'm suggesting that if the conspiracy that I'm getting at, that's basically it, that they had an idea of what might happen, what the possible downturn might be. They would have known that going in, that they're taking a gamble. And, yeah,
we threw the words insider trading around quite a lot.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard when you're talking with people of their family and their job is working people anyway. I'm not going to say I have proof or anything, so clearly I don't. I can only speculate. But when you look at what the evidence that we've talked about this stuff so much, and it's hard not to put two and two together and say, this is a very plausible reality. Is it the case? I don't know. We'll find out. Investigations commence.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been saying I find this stuff very fascinating. I mean, now we're at a really bad spot. I don't think this is good. I don't want to see the WWE go down. It's not my favorite program as of late, but that doesn't mean that it would be a good thing if it went down. In my opinion, it would be horrible. Professional wrestling right now is at a really neat spot because we have a couple promotions potentially coming in and making a difference that could take advantage of a worsened WWE financially, but not a dead one. Because we know competition is good.
Well, let's say WWE goes under, and now there's not the big corporate conglomerate WWE to, be the be-all, end-all of pro wrestling, and you've got Global Force Wrestling and AAA and ROH and TNA, and they're all kind of like, okay, square one for wrestling again. Now let's see which one of these companies can go. Do you think that is something that could theoretically happen if WWE were to go under? Because that seems to be the general consensus of why wrestling will never be as big as it was, is because there is just one wrestling company that is globally known.
Yeah, it would basically be return to territories, but less of them.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe, it's going to go back. We go back to the territory days.
I don't think it would. I think it would go to the indies. It would go lower. If it happened to overnight today, I think that would be devastating. I think what would be if it was okay. These new companies are not in existence yet officially. They're not on the air.
Right.
There's no drawing of eyeballs to them whatsoever. What you guys remember how much the ratings dropped when WCW went under? A lot of people didn't flip over to the WWE. They just stopped watching.
It's true.
So I think if it was to happen overnight, it would be a huge hit. I think you'd lose a lot of fans. I don't know if those new companies as startups outside of real hardcores would tune in. And then there's this style difference. Like AAA is bringing Lucha. They're not bringing WWE style. They're not bringing WCW style. Even the Lucha guys, for the most part, in WCW didn't wrestle pure Lucha style. That doesn't mean that wrestling fans by default are just going to embrace it. And the Jeff Jarrett one is still the sketchiest of the two, because we know that the AAA has a home. That network is on the air and available already. We don't know if Jarrett's promotion for sure is going to be a thing. And Corgan's promotion is a reality backstage show. So it's not really even one we could talk about. And TNA might not exist in the year itself.
It's true.
I think the worsening of the WWE will open doors for guys to jump ship. But if they went under, I think that my own take is I think that would be bad. I think it'd be really bad.
Maven fan says if WWE dies, then wrestling dies.
It's odd for her to say something serious.
It is, and I'm just throwing it out there that it might create opportunity, but you might be right. It might just be people like, oh well, what the fuck are we gonna do now? I don't want to watch this shit, because there really is nothing like WWE. You know what I mean? Like WCW came close, but that's because they had the money to do it. And Eric Bischoff, we're going to talk about Eric Bischoff in a few minutes. Eric Bischoff said that, if another company came along and they got a network behind them to throw in millions upon millions of dollars for production and advertising and talent, then maybe we would have a competitor for WWE again. But much like Eric Bischoff, I don't see that happening. We're going to talk about Eric Bischoff in a few minutes. I don't know. I mean, it's a very. I actually had David Fuller posted on the IHWE Facebook page the other day that with these two companies in very bad financial situations, he's glad he runs a small independent organization. And I'm sure. But I mean, it's just a matter of who's going to be able to pay money to be competitive. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
What if WWE dies? What would we call ourselves? Would we still have a podcast? Would we still do this? Would we still be doing this? Or we'd have to change the name from BWF Radio to just Radio where people, I don't know, four idiots and George talking.
Maven Fan says WWE won't die. Disney will buy them. I don't know. I mean, this is all speculation.
I'm just now imagining John Cena as a Disney princess, don't mind me.
Thanks, Mark. You put that image in my head too.
He'd put his own little rap on the, Let It Go song from Frozen.
Mickey Mouse versus John Cena. That's the one match I don't think John Cena could win.
Yeah.
No, he'll put out. I'm gonna shame myself because I have seen that movie. He'll put Elsa in the STF and she'll sing "Let It Go" to get out.
Yes, I've also seen that movie. So,
Well, you have kids. It's understandable.
yes, I have a 9-year-old girl, so it's understandable that I've seen Frozen. Well, anyway, but it's all speculation. We have to Steamboat Willie versus Orton. We'll just have to wait and see how this plays out, and that's all we can do with most of our news stories anyway. So that's pretty much where we're at, is just waiting to see how this plays out, and if WWE can come back from this, I don't know, we'll find out.
They're kind of in trouble, but I don't think it's dire.
Well, it might be for the referee situation, because WWE referees are unhappy about their pay and having trouble making ends meet since they pay for all their own travel expenses out of pocket. Somebody says it's like TNA. They keep stealing Dixie's idea. Next up, food stamps.
And JTG will sit at home.
Yeah. Well, this is the interview I was actually talking about. Is Steve Austin's new podcast interview with Eric Bischoff. The two discussed what a cluster WCW was back in 1995 when Austin got fired. Apparently, miscommunication over whether or not Austin should show up for tapings when he was healing up from injury was what, in Bischoff's view, justified terminating him, with Austin admitting that in Bischoff's shoes, he probably would have done the same thing. And that's, of course, at podcast1.com/Steve-Austin-show. And then they show flowers and penile dysfunction remedies. And DDP yoga, which I haven't done since last Sunday because I'm so freaking sore. Anyway, but yeah, Legends House is retardedly more watched than NXT, and I will agree with that. I like Legends House. I'm not one of the haters on that show, but
Kenny King's on there.
but I can't justify it being more watched than NXT. Christopher DeJoseph, the former Big Dick Johnson in WWE, is now a member of the AAA creative team as it prepares to debut on El Rey in the USA. Both Dave Bautista and Georges St. Pierre have been signed on for big-budget remake of the 1989 action flick Kickboxer, which originally starred Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So who's going to be Van Damme and who's going to be the crippled brother?
Oh, it'd be St. Pierre's. Definitely would be the star.
Yeah.
He would be Van Damme. There's no question about it. He's gonna bring the French accent in. He's got the MMA background, and Batista had that one MMA fight, but
Batista plays the crippled guy very well.
Yeah.
that's right.
That's not acting. That's the best thing.
Well, in all reality, with the fact that both these guys actually do have the training, that they could put on a pretty good show. I mean, Batista already knows how to fake fight, right?
Yeah.
And George St. Pierre, just like Jean-Claude Van Damme, can't cut a promo to save his life. So, I am being a little sassy, but in reality, if you've ever seen this guy talk, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
He might as well be the NXT champion.
And Maven, speaking of NXT, Maven fan says NXT is more awful than Legends House. Metal was better than NXT. She's still upset about Birch being fired.
Adrian Neville, the man that promos forgot.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of movies,
he's a great in-ring worker, man. So
yeah, he is. Speaking of movies, Summer Rae got her hair chopped for her role in the latest Marine installment. It's okay. She'll just get a weave like Maurice. She stole the rest of her fucking gimmick. Why not that? Mickie James and Rikishi are both being considered for the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015.
Okay, I won't make the joke.
Okay.
No, please.
Go for it. Or not.
No, she's pregnant. I don't want to rip on her.
Okay. Total Divas seems to be in an epic freefall at this point. Sunday's episode only did 750,000 viewers and a .3 in the 18 to 49 demo. Despite this, it's been picked up for another 10 episodes. I stopped watching like in the middle of the first season. I'm like, okay, that's enough of this. I can't fucking
Yeah,
watch
I
this.
just watched that one episode.
Since I never watched it, I just really don't care. And but then again, you're getting picked at .03. For what network is it on? Like E.
Yeah.
That's probably like still the top rated show on E.
Yeah.
Joe Maven Pin says Joe doesn't know what a weave is.
Of course I don't. I have natural hair, goddammit.
But he does know what a wee is.
Whee! Yeah. Don't make me get the spinner belt back out. Anyway. Simpsons fans unite! Remember the episode where Bret Hart almost bought Mr. Burns' mansion? Well, now Bret Hart is getting a Simpsons-style action figure. It only took them how long? That should be a Stump JT question. Well, you know what they're doing is right now they've just started releasing the 25 greatest guest stars as action figures. And this
Is that how this came about?
and this is like either the second or third set. So that's where this came from.
And
I wondered why they brought it out. It seemed kind of random.
And
No, I'm not wearing-
I will say with the Bret Hart episode, I would say that was probably 1995. So I'd say about 19 years.
Yeah. No Maven fan, I'm not wearing the spinner belt right now.
That's just a wild guess. It was right before the Attitude Era, so it was between 95 and 97. I know he was when he did The Simpsons. It was right around the WW. He was still with the WWF.
He was because it was a cover.
Checking this.
The cover of WWF magazine had Bart Simpson with the Bret Hart shades on at the time because he was doing
In
the
1997.
Okay, that sounds about right. Oh, so right around the end. Okay. Well, Canadian sports writer Adnan Virk has announced that May 23rd is Bret Hart Day in Canada. Speaking of Bret Hart. Jerry. Go ahead.
Yay.
Jerry Lawler and WWE are negotiating over the Memphis Wrestling Library as the E wants to acquire it for use on the WWE Network. That presumes Lawler owns 100% of the rights, though, something which has long been in dispute. You know what I'd like them to get is the Smoky Mountain, because I want to see all these old, like heel Vince McMahon promos from Smoky Mountain before he became Mr. McMahon in WWE.
Now they'll buy it but censor it.
Yeah. Well, the former Sin Cara, Mystico, worked an indie event in Mexico City as Sin Cara last weekend. Daniel Bryan's surgery could keep him out of action up to 8 weeks. If he can still make TV appearances, though, it may not be necessary to strip him of the world title, which is why WWE hasn't done it so far. His surgery was successful this past Thursday in Pittsburgh. A cervical foraminectomy. I don't fucking know how to spell that. How to pronounce that. Is in order to compress the nerve root, surgeons go in through the back of the neck to shave the inside edges of the joints in the neck and spine that are causing compression to prevent the eventual collapse of a spinal disc. The usual recovery from such a procedure for heavy physical activity is 2 to 3 months. Bryan is already out of bed and wearing a soft neck brace.
Is that just his beard?
It could be.
Maven Fan says if WWE gets the Memphis Library, we will get to see a 9-year-old Maven Fan in the crowd.
There you go.
That would be awesome.
The reason that Brock Lesnar could be booked for both Night of Champions and SummerSlam is that he'd have a 2 pay-per-view long feud with the same person, possibly Daniel Bryan or maybe even Cesaro.
Did you know Brock Lesnar ended WrestleMania's undefeated streak at WrestleMania 30?
You almost got there.
Almost got that one right. Paul Heyman's client, Brock Lesnar, ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. I like when he did the knock knock joke. He's like, I could be funny. Knock knock. Who's there? Mike. Mike who? My client. Great shit. Oh man. And that's actually why I started listening to the Steve Austin shows, because Paul Heyman was on there a little while back.
On podcast 1.
Yes, on podcast.
Buy your
1.
flowers.
Buy your flowers and get your protein, get your supplements for testosterone, and Go to truecar.com to buy your next used car. Yeah, but Steve Austin uses all his sponsors. He stands by them. He says he uses all of them. I highly doubt a guy who can afford a brand new car is going through truecar.com to buy a used car. Just a thought.
So Steve Austin admits he has erectile dysfunction.
No, it's not for erectile dysfunction. It's for testosterone. To boost your testosterone. I forget what the fucking shit is called.
So he has bitch tits then.
There you go. Well, Sting, Steve Borden, has still not signed his WWE contract. Wake me when he does.
Maven fan wants to see Paul Heyman with a flat top haircut.
I want a high fade.
Oh, jeez.
Fresh Prince style.
Oh, no, you don't. No, you go, or like Kid from Kid and Play.
Yeah.
Eraserhead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well. Chris Masters fires shots at Cesaro. He says Cesaro didn't slam Big Show over the ropes at WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure Big Show jumped for him. Not to take away anything from Cesaro, he looks like a talented worker who would probably bring his work down a little bit and his body up, but that's just my opinion. If he slammed the Big Show, then I could probably press the Big Show. Masters says he was kidding. Why is everybody hot about Cesaro? I was messing around.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was messing around and being sarcastic. He is a standout, great talent in WWE. He is the best new talent I've seen on WWE. Relax.
Speaking of testosterone pills.
Yeah. Some people claim, we talked about this earlier, that Alicia Fox quit on a segment on the app, but she disagrees. By the way, WWE Universe, for all those thinking I quit, check out WWE app interview to get it straight. And G says,
Kayfabe. Also, who cares?
Roman Reigns suffered a pretty brutal cut above his left eye at a live event. Actually, it was a right eye. At a live event in Scotland during a cage match against Randy Orton. There were conflicting reports on what happened exactly, but he has since been medically cleared. Which
I've seen the picture. It's brutal.
oh my god, yeah, it is.
There's a good chunk of his face missing.
Yeah. WWE has issued a statement on Vladimir Putin being used in storylines. WWE programming, like Hollywood movies and television shows, is an exciting blend of action, characters, and fictional storylines of good versus evil that are often inspired by pop culture and current events. Russian President Vladimir Putin has given us a good material to work with to create strong characters in Rusev and Lana, who are perceived as either protagonists or antagonists, depending on where in the world you are watching WWE programming.
America.
Triple H is being described as being in an impossible position in WWE right now because Vince McMahon changes his mind as a whim, but he sympathizes with the talent when planned angles and matches get revised on them at the last minute. Yet he's the one in talent relations that everybody goes to when they have an issue.
Yes, Maven fan. Roman Reigns is from Rome.
Yeah. Rome, Samoa. Harry Smith, the former D.H. Smith in WWE, choked out a thief in Amsterdam who tried to steal a woman's purse. I guess the story was like the guy was struggling with the cops, so D.H. Smith came over, and Harry Smith came over and kind of choked him out to help the cops out and get the woman her purse back. So good for him. Renee Young is a permanent, for now, NXT announcer as of May 8th. Video Game Nerds Unite, a possibility for WWE 2K15, whenever that comes out, is that My Career mode will replace the 30 Years of WrestleMania mode, working your way up from the NXT roster to winning the WWE World title.
So basically, the old way is basically the new way. Is going to be the new thing now.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's not in here, but I don't know if anybody's heard that the game might not even come out until next year. It usually comes out around November, but
It'll be nice to have a game with a year and it come out in the year it says.
yeah, it's true. But that's the rumor I've heard is that it might not.
I've just heard later this year. I didn't realize it possibly pushed back all then.
It could have just been a misunderstanding, like a typo or something. But
I mean, they wanted to push 2K14 back, but WWE wouldn't let them.
yeah.
Which is why we got the shit fest that we did.
Oh, let's take a look. We got some more news here. WWE has reportedly settled a big lawsuit which is going on with producer Jimmy Papa, who formerly produced music for WCW and WCCW. Papa had sued WWE, Michael Hayes, and Jim Johnson for them using WCW songs that he produced, including the Freebirds' Bad Street USA. The lawsuit dates back to 2012 and has now been closed, and WWE is allowed to include Papa's music on their WWE network content. Oh, did you guys hear this Dean Ambrose story?
I didn't.
Okay. Jen Lee, the woman behind DeanAmbrose.net, who has ran the site for a number of years, got the VIP treatment for the WWE Nottingham event, and lo and behold, the Shield were part of the superstars she got to meet. Paige was also present during this, and in her words, it's a short and brilliant story. She posted a picture of her with the Shield. Her and her family with the Shield, and it says, "Met these guys, no clue." And then it goes, I think this is actually a little older here. No, this is later. OMFG, I got pulled out of the crowd and handed a personal note. I'm dead. After the VIP meet, just as the show was about to start, I was pulled out of the crowd and told I was being ejected from the building. And she got handed a note. Jen, I'm glad I got to meet glad I got to meet you in person. I really appreciate the work you've done with your website. It makes me feel good to know that I don't know. It's kind of cut off, but basically, Dean Ambrose. Oh, there it is. I got the full note here. Jen, I'm glad I got to meet you in person. I really appreciate the work you've done with your website. It makes me feel good to know work is somewhere. Ha! Keep up the website /work and let me know if you want to rock and roll. Mox. She got a personal note from Dean Ambrose for doing his personal website for quite a while.
Did he just invite her into his bed?
I don't think so. Well, maybe he did. Who knows? Well,
that was pretty cool of him, though.
UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock was asked during an interview with Submission Radio who pays better between Vince McMahon and Dana White. He says, I don't know what other people say, but for me, it's definitely Vince. I felt like he did me right, even though he may, I don't know what the issues are with me, and him now, because no one will talk to me or say anything. But for me personally, I thought he treated me very fairly. He paid me well, and I thought he gave me a great opportunity to keep competing in the WWF. Of course, I had to do my job. I had to do what they needed me to do. Otherwise, he wouldn't give me the time of day. I understand that. I understood that. But when I did do what I was supposed to do, he paid me what I deserve. So
Money.
Yes, money.
So,
Money!
G's breaking news. CM Punk is back in action.
Really?
He's being competitive action with Bailey, the Los Angeles Kings mascot.
Ah, yes, of course. Of course.
They have made a bet, and if his team wins, whoever team wins, the other guy wears a sweater. Now, it should be noted, I know most of you guys don't follow hockey. Bailey was in a previous bet with a fellow named Greg Wyshynski, who is also a wrestling fan, so there was a link. And he had a bet where they would take pies to the face, and Bailey, of course, won that bet. So we'll see. It's too bad it's not a pie bet. I would have liked to see a pie bet. See Punk take some pies to the face.
CM Punk and Bailey, they always have this thing when the Blackhawks and the Kings play each other in the playoffs. Because they were going at it last year, too. But
yep.
And there's actually a picture floating around of CM Punk at one of the Bushwhackers' gym.
Yes, I saw that. Punk looking pudgy.
Yeah.
Skinny fat ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross published a new blog at jrsbarbecue.com. He briefly discussed WWE's new deal with NBCU and gave his thoughts on how WWE should handle SmackDown going forward. Says, quote, I also assume that the entire WWE, NBC Universal package, and business deal is still under wraps, and more news will be announced in the near future, but let me stress that this is merely my speculation, not based on any inside info whatsoever. Personally, I think SmackDown is best aired live on Tuesday night, which fits the WWE production model because live TV, to me, is a better watch than a tape program that is talked to death all week online and via various social media outlets. I think I could agree with that. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Sure.
I know it probably wouldn't work out good with G's schedule, but
Maven fan wants to know which John Cena shirt you're wearing, Joe.
the one with James, Kirk, Lars, and Jason in black and white and with tour dates on the back.
John Cena went on tour.
Yeah, with Metallica, apparently. Yes, John Cena did go on tour, by the way. My buddy Brandon went to see him. I thought about going to see him, but I'm like, no, I really don't want to go by myself, and nobody would go with me.
Do you own any JR products? Yes.
I do not own any JR products. I hear they're good, but like the thing is, when you go to buy, when you order them online, you got to pay shipping. And when you are at a store, an event that is selling them, they double the price. So it's like one way or another, you're paying more than what you should be paying for JR's products. But I hear they're great. That's my shill for the week. I'm shilling JR's products.
They're good but overpriced.
Good but overpriced from my experience. I've never had any, so but that's what I've heard is it's good stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to get my buddy Drew on the show, and he's a kind of a food connoisseur, and I think he likes to cook a lot, so I think maybe he's probably used some JR products. So if we ever get him scheduled, we will get him on the show to we'll make sure we ask him about JR's.
She says, so the green one?
Yes, the green one, sure.
Which one? There was about 5. They ran out of colors.
I went to a WWE event, and it was at the time John Cena was wearing the green gear, the John Deere looking stuff. And I was just out at Kmart, and I saw a shirt I had to get because I was going to a WWE event that John Cena was going to be on. I bought a King of the Hill John Deere parody T-shirt. Just be like, yeah, look, my shirt's better than his. All right, anybody have anything else to add? We're a little early wrapping up, but
Tomorrow's May 19th.
Tomorrow is May 19th, yes, which means it's not only the day of, May 19th, but it's also my wife's birthday.
Maybe it's my birthday a month on Monday. A week on Monday, I should say.
And See No Evil 2 comes out.
Yes, I'm going to... I do have See No Evil on DVD. George was kind enough to order it for me for 1 penny. And
Yeah, that's how I got my copy.
And I think I might... maybe I'll finally pop it in, because we got it last year because her birthday was on the night of Payback. Or maybe not Payback, but maybe the one that just passed. That's how good their pay-per-views are. I can't remember what the fuck they're called a week after they air.
Because they keep changing them.
Yeah.
Oh, and Maven fan wants to know if you're doing Trish yoga.
No, I'm not doing any yoga right now. I'm too banged up from that car accident. But I was doing DDP yoga, and I'm going to get back to that very soon. My wife wants to do Trish yoga, actually. So
is that one the one that is your mama's yoga?
I guess if DDP yoga is not your mama's yoga.
Well, she is a mother, isn't she?
No.
What'd you say about my mama?
Nope. My wife is not a...
No, I mean Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus is, yes. I see the sights are back down again. That's fun. Anyways, so I think we're pretty much done. We'll wrap it up here. I can go get ready for my wife's little party that I'm going to be at for like an hour and a half before I got to go to work. All right, let's see here. Where's that theme music at? Well, anyway, so we're just about done here. Just waiting. Because I'm unprepared, as usual. Everybody knows that. That's my gimmick. But, all right, so I'm at Think So Joe. George, who's not here, at Punish78. At Mark_Noyce, at Random Redhead, at G of the Internet. We are at Board Wrestling Fan. That's Board Wrestling Fan without vowels. Facebook.com/Board Wrestling Fan. You can listen to this podcast live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on BWFradio.com. And don't forget to check out all our great content at BoardWrestlingFan.com and BoardHockeyFan.com. BookerTees.com for some great t-shirts. And that's all I got to say. Anybody else?
See you next week.
MoviePoopShoot.com for all your movie information.
I wanna go to the beach.
Yeah. Once summer gets here.